brief walk about to West Ham unofficial. You are all well. If you've just come from the Barcelona Napoli watch along we've just done, hello. Hope you are well. We are going to be today talking a little bit about the World Seniors Darts Championship that was a couple of weekends ago. What better person to talk about it with the guy that was introducing the legends onto the stage. Paul comes on as a Liverpool fan every now and then when we talk about the Premier League, but he was the tournament MC a couple of weekends ago. Paul, how you doing?
I'm very well and glad to be back here, Jake, with yourself.
Lovely stuff, and I hope you're looking forward to in a couple of weeks the Hammers going up to Anfield to do the double over Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm not sure the double's gonna happen. I think the Reds are looking very impressive. I said it a few weeks ago they're going to win all 3 cups. I wouldn't be surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if they win them all like they did in 2001. But yeah, we'll see. They're looking good. Obviously, West Ham are doing just great, and you should be happy. I think they're doing just fine. West Ham, and maybe that top 4 place might happen.
Just might. Randy, hope you're keeping well. And also, Trumper Gatesy, who was there. Gatesy, how you doing?
I was.
I did give a shout out. I don't know if you heard it. I did give a shout out. I don't know if he was in the bar or anything.
I didn't. I must have missed that.
Yeah,
we was there for the last day.
Right. Yeah, I give you a shout out on the. No, yeah. I did give a shout out, but when I shouted out your name, nobody cheered. I reckon I might have had the one day. That was it.
Because I'd been tipped off that I'd been stitched. I mean, that you were aware of. I was popping down, but yeah, no, we was there for my wife and I for the semi-final final day, which was really good. Really enjoyed it. I mean, we'd never been to a darts event at all. I mean, I've always sort of said, it looks great on the telly. I'd love to go. Yada yada yada, and just haven't managed to sort of get it for one reason or another. I saw this on Twitter and I thought, well, it's literally just across the sort of like, because we're in Dartford.
Oh, right.
It's only across the river, just sort of like, and then chuck a left and you're there.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, go on then. So, you know, I really enjoyed it. Really good.
It was great. I think the atmosphere in the venue was fantastic. Obviously, we all know that there was technical issues going out on BT Sport and BBC. But they will correct them, and there's the Masters coming up in May, and it will be a lot better. And it's going to be strides going forward. But
we are live, people. We are live. Just while we wait to try and get Paul back. You can tell we're live.
This is what happens, isn't it?
I know it is. This is. Oh, here we go. We're back again. Paul, you there?
Right, I'm back. At the moment I've only got 700 megabits a second stream. It's just and we still cut out. Amazing.
Whatever that means. But Paul, obviously being there every day and doing what you did. What did you make of it being there firsthand every day? And I was when I watched bits of it, I was just astounded at the quality throughout the whole competition.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of debate on the internet about, certain players, should they be allowed? I mean, Robert Thornton's 52 and he's only just come off the tour. Has he seen it? Well, the rules are set. If you're over the age of 50 and you don't have a PDC Pro Tour card, then you're not a professional dart player. There's got to be a line somewhere. And then I see people, well, he's too good to... What do they do? Stop Man City entering the Premier League or Barcelona a few years ago entering the Champions League? That's the cut-off. Robert Thornton's over the age of 50. He's not classed as being a professional dart player, and that's it. And if anyone thinks, then the opposite side, people say, "Oh, what a standard! Phil Taylor didn't play as well." Well, have a go then if you think you're good enough. You know what I mean? So that's it. I thought that look, we're not going to see the 112 averages you might see on the PDC, but as long as it's a close game, and some of the games were, certain games, the Martin Adams match against Richiehausen in particular, when Martin checked 130 plus checkouts was fantastic. As long as they're close and the crowd are behind them and very respectful, which I think they were, that's what it's all about. The Sunday doesn't have to be top draw for it to be enjoyable. And speaking to a lot of the people there, my friends as well, a lot of them, they loved it because it was a friendly sort of atmosphere. But yeah, it was proper darts, and showered with 180s and massive checkouts. And what a great... I would advise anyone to go. As I said, the next one's in May. It's the Masters. That's it. Another iconic darting venue. Of course, the Lakeside. The qualifiers are in between the 8th and 10th of April. So basically, the players entering in this, there will be one. There's going to be an order of merit. One from the order of merit. Two from the qualifiers. One which is going to be a fan's choice, which is voting in on.
I've voted in that.
Who have you voted for?
Well, I looked at the people involved, and I just sort of thought, rightly or wrongly, that the only person amongst that is a former world champion is John Boy Walton. So I've gone for him. He's also a former winner of the World Masters as well. So I thought, well, that was my reason. I could have gone Peter Manley for the. I probably can't say the word because you're there, Jake. But let's just say the tactics that he employs. I love watching Peter Manley when he's sort of like he's winding opponents up. It's quite amusing. But I went for John Walton. Yeah,
because it's winning a big two, of course, in the BDO. There's been a lot of votes for Coach Stompy. Whether that's. Everyone's got their own favourite players, and of course, Macy Ace, Chris Mason. I know he works down here at the Online Live League, and he still plays well. And whoever it is, it's going to be it's over to the fans. And say within a couple of years, there will be a recognised order of merit. Because there's qualifiers, obviously ranking points, ranking money, whatever, how they're going to seed them. But also there will also be the open events as well. Just go along to so. If you don't like the way that certain players are chosen, do something about it. Pick up the hours. If you're 50 or over, have yourself a go. And I think the idea is the fact that certain players on the tour, they don't want to be traveling around the world. They've been doing it for so many years. They don't just go off the tour and disappear. This is their livelihood. They need sponsors. So what better way of keeping a sponsor? Saying, well, actually, I'm going to be in the World Seniors Dart Championship. I'm going to be in the Masters, the World Seniors Match Play. It keeps their career ongoing because it's like a footballer, isn't it? At the end of the day, if you don't get into management or maybe punditry, what do you do? That's what you've been doing all your life, and then I don't think a lot of the professionals nowadays are going to worry about it when they're on 250,000 a week. But dart players, they haven't been on that money, and they need to do something. What a great opportunity for those players who are just perhaps dipping out of the PDC Pro Tour.
Just mentioning Peter Manley there. What was the vibe, the feeling, and the atmosphere like when Phil Taylor and Peter Manley walked onto that stage? Was there anything there, Paul?
Yeah, there was. I mean, because they played in 3 World Finals. Because Taylor won 2 of those 7-0. I was at one of those. I think it was at both of them actually. And Peter, he's a sportsman. He doesn't want to take it lying down. So he wanted, he wanted to do the job. Of course, he did. He's a master. Peter made the best of everything he had really as a dart player. I know he never won the World Championship. He played in 3 finals. He made his money, and he came out. I'm going to walk onto Amarillo, and that was fantastic. That just rocked the place. I don't think it came over maybe on the streams on BT Sport quite like it did nothing like it did in the venue, because in the venue it was rocking, absolutely banging in there. And in the next time the production will be better. We know that, but it was fantastic having those 2 players on the stage. They played in, like I said, 3 World Finals, and having those 2 guys there on the stage, it was fantastic. Taylor and Manley again, love it.
Yeah, with the semi-final and final, Gatesy, overall the day, did you enjoy it? And in your opinion, did the right man win?
Yes, definitely the right man. Well, the best 2 players, I think, made the final. Obviously, Martin Adams. I've been working with Martin again this week, and the Online League, and he is he's a stubborn dart player, and he plays well. And he's just so relaxed. He has that relaxed sort of throw, and there was absolutely no surprise that those 2 players made the final, Thornton and Adams. No surprise whatsoever. I think Paul Nicholson picked them before. He said that will be the final, and it certainly was. Perhaps the final, I think, was at 5 sets to 2, wasn't quite the close game we wanted, but there were some iconic games within the tournament. The Tony O'Shea game in the first round was fantastic, and Larry Butler rolled back the years, and just seeing these players, and the fact that talking about the Masters coming up, most of those players are involved in that as well. Plus another couple of players who we haven't seen before, including Pete. I think Peter Ebson's coming into the World Match Play. Colin Monk is coming into the Masters. So there's more of these players to come in, and it's just great to see them back on the hockey, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Paul, I know you've got to go in a second. So
well, we're actually okay for a couple of minutes. I don't know if that helps, or you want to kick me off anyway, because Mr. Nicholson doesn't need the studio quite as urgent as I thought. But if we got a couple more minutes, if you need,
we'll keep on rolling. Gatesy, what did you make of the what did you make of the whole day? The whole shenanigans of it.
Oh, it was like I say, it didn't disappoint me. It was worth every penny that I spent on the ticket for my wife and I. It lived up to what I was hoping for and more, to be honest. I'll be honest with you, when I got the ticket, there was a little part of me that wanted Phil Taylor to make the last day, so I could say that I've seen the 16-time champion of the world play. It wasn't to be. He didn't hit the heights. I mean, as you said earlier, Paul, it must be really difficult for someone that's basically won everything to retain that hunger, and he doesn't need to do it anymore. He's got enough money. He's well set, and he's probably the practice that he's done since retiring has been virtually zero compared to when he was at his peak, when he was probably every spare moment practice. So he's not going to be operating. None of them are operating at that level, Time waits for no man. He says himself, we're not the same players we were back in the day. Our eyesight's maybe not as good. We've got little aches and pains. I mean, I think he needs to have a hip replacement. I think he said, is that right?
Yeah, yes, he does. I mean, I'm actually with him in Germany next week for a week. Yeah, not this weekend, the weekend after 3 days, and I'll be interested to speak to him to see what he's done, because that would have hurt him losing that Dives match. And I wonder what he's going to do, because obviously there's players in the event, say like Thornton Adams, who are playing online. They're match ready, because you can practice at home, but it's not the same as it. They are match ready. Lisa Ashton is obviously very competitive still, but it's almost like, well, I think when Paul Nicholson said, I think these players will make the final, the reason being is because they are match ready. They're playing competitive darts for prize money against top players, really good players in the online live league, and it's no surprise they made the final. And I think Phil for the event, which is at the end of May at the Lakeside, I hope we see a different Phil Taylor again. And I'm not saying he's going to come out to 112 averages, but it'll be a lot more competitive. I think he's going to give himself another chance, or a couple of chances.
There's another day that's been added to that, hasn't there?
Yes, there is. Yeah, it's the 27th, 28th, and 29th now. And so that's great. There's now 20 players, as I say, the 16 and plus two qualifiers, and I'll be involved in the qualifiers in sort of helping out emceeing and reffing a little bit of that, and that's competitive. Some of the names up there who didn't get through the qualifier, and speaking to somebody involved with the online with the World Seniors, and they said the tickets, as soon as the World Championship finished, the rush for tickets straight away, and also people wanting to become members and enter the qualifiers. That was, because you see it on the table. Well, I can do that. I'm going to have a go at that. And that's great, isn't it? That's great. You've got to live the dream. I'm interviewing Eddie the Eagle in a couple of weeks' time. And, he done it, didn't he, in 1988? So I lived the dream. And that's the thing.
Yeah. Paul, putting the two finalists to the side, which player impressed you the most?
I thought Richiehausen was great. The qualifier, a West Ham fan, wanted to walk on to I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. I don't know if you chaps have ever heard that before, but he obviously with the darts in football, it's not allowed for walk-ons, but he was great. He come for a tough qualifier to get there. And of course, he won his first game, and his game against Martin Adams, that was my favourite match. That was great. That was a fantastic darts match. And Martin Adams with a 1-3, 1-5, 1-1-5-0, 1-5-3, 1-5-7, whatever it was. And Mark Webster in commentary, I listened to it back, and he said, "And the Wolf is at it again," and it was just brilliant. It was drama, and obviously being a local guy, I mean, he's from Rainham, which is I think it's literally a dart throw away from the Circus Tavern, and and he'll be in the qualifiers again. So we'll get Richie on here. We'll get Richie on here talking about darts and of course about his beloved West Ham as well.
Lovely. Gatesy, was there any other players when you watched it at home or when you were there that impressed you? It was like, oh, yeah.
Kevin Painter. I mean, Kevin Painter had the highest. He had the highest tournament, match average when he beat Wayne Warren at 94.59.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And bear in mind, and bear in mind that Wayne Warren is actually, as we speak, he is the reigning BDO world champion.
He is,
he was the last champion before the BDO went up the pictures. So, and when we was there on the last day, we actually saw him hit a 170 checkout. So that was quite special as well.
Yes, he did. He's been down here this week as well. I mean, he's been. Kevin doesn't change, but yeah, this is great. I think the scene is ideal for somebody like Kevin, isn't it? I don't want to travel. I don't want to go around the world anymore. I've done that with my life, but now I'm going to qualify and hopefully it gives them another lease of life. And of course, there's going to be dart players like, I don't know, Simon Whitlock, Steve Beaton, hopefully those players, Mervyn King, they're not going to be on the PDC tour forever. So hopefully we'll see them coming into the seniors, where we'll ever get the likes of Peter Wright and Gary Anderson. You never know. The prize money was £30,000 for the winner at the tavern. So it's only going to go up. So
yeah, I'm sure it's going to build because, I mean, as you say, 30,000 for the winner here. You know, once you mentioned about the sort of like some of the broadcasting difficulties, which I was watching it on the first day through iPlayer, and I got to be honest, that was quite frustrating.
It was,
the sound dropped out, the scoreboard dropped out. There were little technical, but as you say, it's the first one. It's a little bit of a sort of like a test, of like event, if you will. Once all those things have been ironed out, the next one will be much better, and then the one beyond that will be better, and it will just grow and grow. And like you say, 30,000 for the inaugural World Seniors. Yeah, you know, more sponsors getting involved, more broadcasters getting involved. That prize pot will go up, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Great.
For sure. Paul, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just say if anyone's interested, the tickets are flying out. So I said it's the Lakeside on the 27th to the 29th of May. Come along, get involved. The players are there. Taylor's there. Adams there. Ashton's there. They're all there. So get along and just a great dart event. It's just you're just seeing all these players on the same stage, not at the same time, of course, but. Get along. If you've got any interest in darts, you will not be disappointed.
One thing that I can say as a guy that watched it, even in the downtime between matches, and there was a bit of a sort of like a good couple of hours, wasn't there, between the second semi-final and the final commencing.
Between sessions,
But there was still quite a bit sort of like going on. They were the DJ was sort of playing music, and we was all sort of like up and singing along, and obviously you came out and sort of did a bit of a G up, and Bobby George came out and we actually got a photograph as we was leaving. He was wandering out, and me and the missus got a photograph taken with him. So it's a really good. Anybody that's watching this that's thinking, shouldn't I? I mean, you're probably sitting there and thinking, well, Paul's bound to say that because he works there, so he's going to promote it. I've got no reason to promote it other than to say that I went there and it was brilliant. Go and have a look, try it out, and you won't be disappointed, I'm quite sure.
Great, thank you very much for that.
Lovely. And Paul, before I let you go, can you read that comment?
Hey, it's tungsten time. I tell you what, Wayne Mardle said it on the following Thursday in a Johnny Clayton game. He said it's tungsten time. Chris Mason started the online live league on the Tuesday, saying in the words of Paul Starr, it's tungsten time. I dropped a couple of my friends off to the hotel because they'd had a few sherbet, should we say, and I obviously was working, so I just took them back to the hotel, dropped them off, and so the chap said, "Can you wind the window down?" He goes, "Are you a taxi driver?" I said, "No, I'm an MC, a bad darts MC." He goes, "Hang on a minute, it's tungsten time." Just ran into the hotel show. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So you're going to hear that lots. It's going to do your head in, but you're going to hear it lots and lots.
Lovely stuff. And Paul, look forward to having the massive treatment put on you on the 5th of March at Anfield.
We will see. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Cheers,
thank
Paul.
You, Paul.
All the best. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye. There we go. That was Paul, and he's live at the online darts league, where that studio is now being left by Paul, and Paul Nicholson's coming into it.
There you go.
Gatesy, anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to say thanks for inviting me on to give spectators perspective on the World Seniors Darts Tour and the championship that took place at Circus Tavern. Like I say, it was a really good event, and I can thoroughly recommend it to anyone. If you got an opportunity to get a ticket and you're sort of wavering, should I, shouldn't I? Just do it. Just do it. It's it's time that you could sort of like have a little bit of a jolly up, a few jars, bit of bonding time with your missus, your friends, whatever. And if it's not your cup of tea, then fine, you've tried it. You don't have to do it again. But I want to try and get tickets for the Masters, so that probably tells you where I'm at with it.
Yeah, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video watching it. And if you have, drop a like on it, subscribe to West Ham Official, check out Gatesy or Forge from Iron. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Come on, you irons, and we will see you very, very soon. Cheers, guys, and bye.